In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the process of completing a combined sewer overflow report. Canada's Wastewater Systems Effluent Regulations set national effluent quality standards and require owners and operators to submit various reports on the operation of their wastewater system, including an identification report, monitoring reports, and combined sewer overflow reports. If an identification report hasn't been filed for your system yet, you will need to do so before starting your combined sewer overflow reports. The video here provides a walkthrough on how to log into the online system and file an identification report. Otherwise, let's get started on combined sewer overflow reports. If your wastewater system has combined sewer overflow points, these points must be identified in the discharge points section of your identification report. Combined sewer overflow reports are due annually, within 45 days of the end of the calendar year, and can be completed and submitted through Environment and Climate Change Canada's Single Window Information Manager and the Effluent Regulatory Reporting Information System. I'm going to assume you know how to access this system from when you submitted your identification report. As such, I will go through that part of the process relatively quickly. If you're not familiar with this process or need a refresher, watch the first part of the video on identification reports, which goes through the process in more detail. Also, I will be using an imaginary wastewater system, Green Bay Wastewater, owned by the imaginary municipality of Green Bay in this example. Be sure to enter the correct details for your system. Now let's get started. In order to complete my report, I need to log into Environment and Climate Change Canada's Single Window Information Manager website. I start by opening a web browser and going to the address listed on your screen, and I select my language of choice. The next page asks how I would like to sign into the Environment and Climate Change Canada's single window. Scroll down and select Continue to GC key. Enter your username and password and click Sign In. Access the Effluent Regulatory Reporting Information System by clicking the link here in the Single Window Information Manager. Unlike the identification and monitoring reports, data in the combined sewer overflow reports can be saved as a draft. This could be beneficial if you would like to enter the data month by month instead of waiting for the end of the calendar year. A list of the required information is available in the video description. Once your information is ready, go to Reports in the top menu bar and select Combined Sewer Overflow Reports. This table lists all of the combined sewer overflow reports that my system has been required to submit since its effective start date. As you can see, my system is overdue to submit several reports. For the moment, I'm going to focus on my current report. For overdue reports, it is recommended that you return to this point later and complete as many of them as possible. I will select my overdue report, which in this case is this one here, for 2016. Status shows as overdue. Wastewater System Summary. This section contains some general information about my system, which is automatically filled in with information from the identification report. Nothing forced to do here. Next, combined sewer overflow details, point number 1. This section will be repeated for each combined sewer overflow point in my wastewater system. In my case, I have 2 combined sewer overflow points, so I can select from the drop-down menu which point I wish to report on first. I'll start with this overflow point. The latitude and longitude, station ID, and station name information are all automatically populated for me based on the identification report I have already submitted in the system. Was effluent deposited from this CSO point in this calendar year? CSO stands for Combined Sewer Overflow. Select yes or no as appropriate. If yes, then enter for each month the number of days in which effluent was deposited and the volume which was deposited from this combined sewer overflow point. Select Save CSO Point. Select Next Point to save the data you just entered and repeat this process for the next combined sewer overflow point. As noted earlier, you can save the CSO point data in draft format throughout the year. When data for all your combined sewer overflow points are entered, the Save and Approve CSO Report button becomes available and the entire report can be submitted. Select the checkbox to approve the report for submission to Environment and Climate Change Canada and click Approve the Report. The Combined Sewer Overflow Report has been successfully approved and submitted. For more information, links to the Single Window Information Manager website, a detailed user guide on logging into and reporting through ERIS, and the regulations are available in the video description. Also in the description is contact information for the Wastewater Office at Environment and Climate Change Canada. Should you have any questions about the reporting process or requirements, feel free to contact us. Thank you for helping to keep Canada's waters clean.